Hello, everyone. I had to go digging into and researching stuff because I guess, like most Americans, I had no idea that if these guys actually shut down the government, there was a whole host of things that procedures, people, governmental agencies, and all this that the guy that was in charge of the office's management and budget could cut without really any approval from anyone. I'd never heard this talked about before, and you got to go digging through laws and a whole bunch of other stuff to find it. But I guess, as far as I could tell, other than the Department of Defense / Department of War, Social Security, Medicare, and I guess 3 or 4 other things, other than those relatively few specific things, the Office of OMB, in the case of a shutdown, can just start axing things, basically. He can cut government, whole departments. This guy, under law, can just start whacking off whole departments of government. And they're just gone. And there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Now, I have never, ever, we've had a number of other shutdowns, but I've never, ever heard of some OMB director doing this. But apparently, Donald Trump's OMB director knows this. And he's starting to wield a great deal of power. Now, when Doge was up and running, they got rid of about 300,000 federal employees, which I think is good, and I think a bunch more should be gone. I think a bunch of departments like the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, and a whole other bunch of departments, to be honest with you, in my opinion, I don't believe should exist. They never should have existed. And you ask me, well, why, Barry? Why wouldn't you want? Because they're all failures. They haven't done anything. And what they have done has been bad. And they've spent many billions, probably hundreds of billions of dollars doing it. But apparently, the Democrats were just as ignorant as me and most other American people. We didn't know this law existed. Well, it does exist, and it's existed for a very long time. Because at least the beginnings of this, I think, go back to before the Civil War. So it's not like it's a new law. I think it's been added on to several times or amended. But the basic law goes back, I think, to the 1828 or 1829. It's been around a long time. Back in those days, they didn't shut down the government. But in recent years, there's been a lot of governmental shutdowns at the federal level. And I think after Trump makes these cuts that his OMB director is going to make, it won't be such a hard play, because if he gets rid of a bunch of stuff, it'll probably be a while before that axe would fall again. But the bottom line is, at this point in time, if the OMB director doesn't want the Department of Education or the Department of Transportation or the Department of Energy or whatever he don't want, now I know he's not going to do anything with the Department of Transportation, because that would cause too big of a problem. But the FAA and a bunch of other things that are going on right now with illegals getting CDLs, stuff like that. Yeah, the Department of Transportation's not on the chopping block, but a bunch of these other ones could be and should be, and I think they will be, quite frankly. What I would say is, if there was ever an opportune moment to really slim down, we just went through a really big slimming job with those, but a real big slimming job, this would be the time. Because apparently the Democrats didn't know the law, their lawmakers didn't know the law, didn't bother to find out the law, and what I'm seeing is they don't care if the axe falls, from what they said. So there's a lot of pieces that Trump can get and cut. We'll see what he does. I can understand to a large degree somebody like me not knowing that. But for the Democrats and all their precious social programs, kind of stupid to let a man who's trying to cut government have the ability to do it. I think the reality is Schumer and Jeffries are just extremely ignorant and stupid. That's all I got to say for now. Bye-bye.